Hello and welcome to CNN News 18. This is Komalika Sengupta. 6 days back, a horrific, tragic accident has shook India. It was this time around when 6:55 when this Balasore train accident really shook India, and more than 288 people have died and 1,200 injured. But in this entire episode, there were people who came and helped like anything. And there were officers, there were system which were actually working 24/7. And today we have with us the Orissa team. The Orissa government really worked very hard, and they really coordinated the things in the right manner with the right approach. So, how did everything happen and how did they handle? We have with us today IG Balasore. We have with us Himanshu Kumar Lal. Sir, welcome to CNN News 18.
Thank
And
you, ma'am.
we also have the young lady officer, SP Balasore Sagarika Nath. She has seen such a horrific tragic incident in her career. This is the first time, and also for Sir's career, Himanshu Kumar Lal is the first, though he has handled the other accidents. But definitely a big salute to you all, because I was in the ground. I have seen how 24/7 you all have worked out to give solace to those people who have lost everything. So we'll first come to you, sir, Himanshu sir. How did you get the information first, and what happened actually that evening?
Actually, that day, around 6:50 p.m. And around 7 p.m., I got the news from some informant that some train has derailed. So I wanted to cross-check that information first. In the meanwhile, our DG has made a phone call. He also got the information that the train has derailed. Some train has derailed. I told our honorable DG to wait for this because I'm verifying the information. Then I talked to local sarpanch there and block chairman there. Then I found out that there is a huge tragedy has taken place. The local block chairman and sarpanch told that, sir, two trains have got an accident, and many dead bodies are lying there, and many people are injured. So you people have to rush, and they were already rushing to the place, and they had started rescue operations. That time I talked to my SP. She did us, and then immediately at around 7:10, 7:15 p.m. When I went into the vehicle, I got the information that the signal is very weak in that area. So I thought that I will not get in communication when I reached there. It was just 20 minutes away from my office. So in that period only, I made a phone call to our Special Secretary CMO, Mr. Dhiren Putte sir, and I talked also to 5T Secretary that time. At same time, 7:10, 20 around. And because here there is a 5T based governance model of disaster management, where we implement all the strategies on the 5T model in timely manner and through teamwork. So, sir, 5T secretary sir and special secretary CM asked me that how much is the casualty, how many you expect. I told sir, we expect around, as we have talked to the villagers, we expect around that it should be more than 150 at that time, more than 150 dead bodies, and injured should be more than 1,000, sir. So I told 5T Secretary sir and Special Secretary CM sir that we need at least more than 500 ambulances immediately, and from nearby areas, and I need we need all hospitals, all doctors to be available, and simultaneously we need all kind of logistic support, like people have to be given food, etc. So then 5T secretaries and special secretary CMs told that you move to the spot, you go and supervise the operations. We are sending all team, all logistic supports. We are sending all ambulances. We are sending ODRAF force, is Odisha Disaster Response Force, and they told that we are sending all relevant officers there to the spot. We just move to the spot and ensure that nobody, we should save as many lives as you can in that crucial period, and don't bother about any resource, any crunch. We will do everything. Every hospital, everything will be open. You just move. Then I talked to my DG sir and our ADG law order, and I briefed both of them and told that, sir, we are moving to the spot, sir, and kindly give us as many platoons of the force. I need more than 20 platoons of force, because there is a huge tragedy has taken place. DG sir ensured that, and ADG law order ensured that you move, and we are giving you all supports. And then we reached the spot. At that time, SP with SDP, subdivisional police officers, she was handling the dead bodies. Then we saw that many people are confused. There are some people are crying. Some dead bodies are there. Some people are very seriously injured. Ambulances are coming, and SP that time. We all decided that we should create some green corridor for the movement of traffic. So we started that logistic support, movement of
So green
ambulances.
corridor was created there at that point of time.
Green corridor by immediately created, and SP that time she managed the Aska light, because that was very dark area. She managed her forces, and I managed my two other SPs from the range, and whatever officers and forces which were available in my range, I mobilized everybody, and SP herself mobilized whatever forces and everybody, whatever resources were available with her, and we started rescue operations immediately. And people were so good, people were so responsive that they were cooperating with police, and they were rescuing the body. With people's cooperation, we could finish the all rescue operations till 12 a.m. At night.
Midnight. So here, I would want to ask Shagurika that you were the first, along with your team. You were the SP of Balasore. When you first went there, I still remember when I went there first. It was obviously, as a journalist, we have been covering a lot of accident, but this was something very shocking. What was your experience when you first got the news, and then when you reached the spot, what did you see and what was your reaction?
Thank you, Kamalika. It's a pleasure being here today. With IG sir managing the overall, the macroscopic view of the entire accident, I was free to manage it at the microscopic level. Immediately, as soon as as I got the
How did you
information.
get the information? Your local source called, or
Yes,
SDPO called?
we got the information on. I got the information from on my mobile phone from a local source. Around 6:55, somebody from the local area called me saying that there has been an accident. Immediately, 2 minutes later, my subdivisional police officer, SDPO Shashank Shekhar Beora, he also called me, and he told me that, ma'am, I have heard that train has derailed. I'm moving to the spot. I told him, you immediately move to the spot. I'm just right behind you. I'm arranging certain logistics, and I'll be right back. And in the process, by 7:15, my SDPO, along with his local police officers, Soro IAC, Gopalpur IAC, and Khantapada IAC, these three are the nearest police stations to the accident site. All of the entire team reached there. We also luckily have a platoon of force stationed at Soro. So that platoon of force was also mobilized immediately. I reached around 7:25. 7 o'clock I moved, and 7:25 I reached. By the time I reached, we realized that the main problem right now is from the accident site till the highway. The road was pretty narrow. So our
Right.
primary concern was, since we'll be seeing a lot of ambulance movement right here, right now, our primary concern was to ensure that we are able to create a green corridor at that point of at that place. So what we basically did was we blocked the entire highway at certain places. Near Simulia, we had a blockade. Near Haldipada, we had a blockade. Near Sadar area, we had a blockade, which are around 10 to 15 kilometers on both left and right side of the accident spot, so that the other vehicles do not obstruct the critical vehicles which are carrying patients. So that was our primary concern, and we are really, really lucky to have the support of all the local people over there. By the time I reached, I couldn't believe my eyes, because the people who were injured and who were like minor injured people, they were coming out of the train bogies to the highways, and it was like a tide of people ascending on the national highways with nowhere to go. They do not know what to do. They had no idea where they are. They were asking frantically ki, which side is Kolkata, which side is Bhubaneswar. They had absolutely no idea. So a part of our team also focused on giving directions and ensuring कि आप लोग अभी इतना भागिए मत, and let's stay settled, and we will make sure that you get to your destinations. But right now, let's focus on saving people, saving lives, and that was our first and foremost focus. That is what we did exactly in that golden hour. Luckily, we have, because our response system under the aegis of Honorable CM Sir is so sturdy, that we have our disaster response forces staggered all through the state. Like, we also have one station at Balasore, and that was the first rescue team that was actually able to reach the spot within the golden hour. And they were able to reach there with along with their ASCA lights, which are the makeshift light systems, along with their cutters, along with all their equipment, the ladders, ropes, and everything. And that is exactly how they were able to save many a critical lives. But even before they reached, what I actually saw on the spot was local people willingly entering bogies along with the police forces, and coordinating the rescue effort at the ground level for the first 45 minutes till anybody else could actually reach the spot. But the overall idea was, we had a three-staged approach. Our first focus was to rescue all the critical patients and send them to the hospitals as soon as possible in any vehicle possible. So not just ambulances, our own police vehicles ferried the patients. The locals were also helpful enough. They gave their own vehicles for ferrying the patients. And this is exactly how, to Soro Hospital, to Khantapada Hospital, and to Gopalpur Hospital, we were able to move maximum number of patients. Then we gradually shifted to the stage 2, where we focused more on getting inside the bogies and retrieving people who are trapped under the rubble, under the heavy iron pieces, where again a very important phase came, where we had to mobilize JCBs, because all those heavy lifters has to be mobilized. And please understand, the location where the accident happened, it is not very accessible. It has
No,
only one
exactly.
single road, and that's
Yes,
the
yes.
entire artery. If that artery is choked, the entire situation will collapse. So our primary focus was to ensure that there is a green corridor in that particular artery, and that was what my team was able to manage on the ground.
Yeah, it was really good. And when we also reached, we saw that it was very difficult and there was no network. That's what Sir was also pointing out. Sir, would like to ask you, Himanshu said that what were the challenges on ground? You know, so many, I mean, I still remember my reporter was saying on ground that I said, what's the death toll? So he said, "Ma'am, it's 40 to 50, but I see more than 100 dead bodies." So I'm sure you all also, were were shocked. So what were the challenges, that you all faced? I think it's in mute. I'll just sir, if you could unmute, I'll just ask the
Yeah.
team. Yeah,
Am I clear now?
yeah,
Yes.
you are. You are.
Yeah, when I made a phone call to the 5T secretary and special secretary to CM, within 2 hours, all resources were mobilized. We had ample ambulances, we have ample vehicles, we have all doctors, all hospitals, everything were open. So, in that aspect, we were very comfortable that we have got all resources in our at our. The biggest challenge was that we have to differentiate between the at that moment that some people are very critically injured, some people are critically injured, some people are have got minor injury, and there are dead bodies. So and we have to coordinate with the local people also. So at that time, we have to demarcate all kinds of injuries, and we have to send it to in different places according to the level of injury, because we wanted that every life should be saved, because our honorable CM always says that every life is precious. So we ensured, and we tried also that this challenge of saving everybody at that moment was the biggest thing for us. And what Sagarika told, that she created with the effort of our local officers the green channel, so ambulances were moving and running. So as such, logistic part and medical treatment part, ambulance part, we were very comfortable. But yes, but simultaneously we were seeing some people dying in front of us, and in front of that was the biggest challenge, because we never saw that kind of tragedies in our whole life. So controlling our emotions, and at the same time, some people were losing the temper also, that my family members are injured, save them. So we have to control ourselves also, and we have to behave in a nice manner also. So we try to do all the aspects in a systematic way, so that every life should be saved. That was our biggest challenge that moment, because second thing was that signal was not there. So sometimes I needed some kind of support. So I used to go to signal area, again come back and do something. That third thing was that there was some problem of light in that area, but within 1 hour, that light, all light system, everything, all technological aspect, like gas cutters, etc., were managed. So main challenge was that how to save the critically injured and very seriously injured people, so that we could save every life.
Right, that was a very important point which you have raised, and also the connectivity, because even till the next day evening, there was this connectivity problem, and the VVIPs like Chief Minister came, Rail Minister came, Prime Minister came, Mamta Banerjee came. It was also not only live, but the next day, but also the focus of the VVIPs coming in. So that was also your focus. Shagurika would like to ask you from this point of time, per point, that identification, what I saw, that initial the rescue operation was like injured were taken, critically injured were taken, but the identification, how you all really, I went to that business park Nausha the next day, and what was how what was the chronology of the rescue operation and the identification procedure?
The first thing that we focused over there was to immediately help all the people who are critically injured. That was the first and foremost responsibility. After we were done with that, the next focus shifted towards recovering people who were under the rubble, and for those for which we needed expertized equipments, where ODRAF and fire services came into play. Then finally, the real challenge and the real horrific incident started after that, when we had to deal with the dead bodies. When we had to deal with the dead bodies, our first and foremost thing was where to shift them. Initially, some number of dead bodies were shifted to DHH Balasore, but then we realized that since the number was growing gradually, realized कि shifting immediately all of them, we will lose a lot of our vehicle power when we shift all of them to Balasore and then get the vehicles back. So there was a makeshift arrangement in which the nearby school was declared as a morgue house.
Mahanagar High School, yes.
Yes, we declared the Bahanaga High School as as a temporary makeshift morgue house, where all the arrangements were made, and we deployed one of our senior officers, DSP rank officers, along with the railways SDPRO, along with one of the sub collector rank officers from the district administration. The entire team, the only task was to make sure that we have the accurate count of how many dead bodies are coming, because that was really really important. Like sir also mentioned, and under the aegis of honorable CM sir, every life matters, and there has to be decency in the death also. So that, since that was also our motto, we ensured that all the dead bodies have their are covered decently and are kept, not piled upon, are kept in a very decent manner at the morgue. And finally, once the dust settled and we were having a hold of the situation, at the end of it, then we shifted all the bodies together to Nosi, which is the business park that you are talking about, where a large scale cold room was created to ensure that the bodies do not decay.
And all the
Uh,
photos were taken.
Yes, where the all the dead bodies at the end of it, we were able to shift to Nosi, where finally we took photos of each and every dead body, so that at a later stage, even if anybody is unidentified and the family members haven't been able to reach, they are able to identify the bodies because putrefaction happens. So they're able to identify from the photographs. And we had labeled each and every dead body with their respective inquest number as well as a dead body number, so that we are able to
Yes.
correlate and none of the bodies get lost in the hustle and bustle.
Sir, would like to ask you now that there was total. I mean, there was people's emotion. Somebody's near and dear were dying. They were injured. They wanted to go back to home. What how this Bahanaga is different from other disasters, because Orissa is well equipped in handling disasters because it's a cyclone prone area. So a cyclonic disaster and a Bahanaga disaster, how different is that? And if you could tell us one incident which you will never forget, somebody who wanted to whom probably have succumbed, or who you have really rescued, whose situation was very bad. If you could tell us.
See, I told earlier, management of disaster, we didn't have any problem because of our logistics support and our logistic support and 5T management model. So that was not an issue at all.
Hmm.
Okay, but most important thing was that how to manage that emotional factor. What happened there? There were two instances. There were two instances where there was a problem. In one instance, there was a dead body of a kid. So nobody was ready to bring out that dead body of the kid because she was having a doll with her, and it was so emotional moment. It was so emotional moment that everybody who went there felt very bad. This was one thing that I felt very bad. And second was that that one person was almost dead, but he was alive, and his some big iron rod was on lying on his leg, and he was unable to come out.
Hmm.
So we were giving water to his mouth, and we were trying to get JCB to remove that big iron rod from his leg. We could remove that person in at least 1 hour. That 1 hour was very bad for us because we were not sure that we can remove him in safely or not. But we could remove him, and he is now safe, and he is recovering now.
It's rescued.
Rescued.
So
So
that's one good thing.
yes, so these two incidents were very touchy, and this disaster is different from other disasters. Other disasters, we manage only disaster. Here we have to manage the people's emotions also. So, and
True.
we have never seen this amount of this quantity of blood in our life, and blood of our own people, blood of family members,
True.
people that were there, and some person's mother is there, some person's son is there. And dead body is also there. So it was very emotionally, it was a very challenging moment.
Very challenging. Yeah, it was for us also. We were covering the incident, and generally journalists should not be emotional, but for us also, I still remember the first time I went on live. It was tears in my eyes, and it was horrific, and still it's becoming difficult. Even after, it feels that we are also having the trauma of that accident. Same question would I like to ask Shagurika, that what what is the what is the picture, or what is the one instance which you are never going to forget? Either somebody survived or somebody succumbed in front of you.
The moment I reached, the first view that I saw was my SDPO covered from top to bottom in blood, and he was busy shifting people. At first instance, I was scared that if it was his blood. Then the moment he said, "No, ma'am, I have managed to shift at least 35 people in my own vehicle. So it is their blood, not mine, and I am safe and sound." And he narrated to me that a couple of people, the people that he shifted in his own vehicle, could not make it till the hospital. They died in his own car. So that was one of the incidences. At the moment I entered and moved left towards the bogies which had fallen down off the track, I could see a mother literally push her children out of the window. Very small children, like hardly 1 or 2 years old. She had two kids. They would be hardly 1 to 3 years old, and she was literally as if she was throwing her kids out of the window, just with the hope that if she is not saved, at least somebody outside would save her
Okay.
kids. And I witnessed it with my own eyes, and it was so saddening. I shouldn't be saying this on live TV, but I had to actually, I picked one of the kids and gave it to my PSO. I told him to make sure that in the makeshift tent that we have made, he is kept there till we are able to rescue the mother. Luckily, with God's grace, we were able to rescue the mother also as soon as the ODRAF reached, and
That's
both the
great.
mother and both the kids and the father, the entire family is safe as of now. And there were many such instances.
Yes.
Young mothers searching for their kids, fathers searching for their wives, and because
Right.
there was so much of chaos, there was so much of darkness, and there was so much of uh, nobody knew what to do, whom to ask, where to ask, and people, and because of this uniform, we are so identifiable. Everybody was coming to us and asking, "Ki, where should we go? What should we do? When will further help arrive?" And that is exactly where the entire system, the entire administration came together, gave their best, and made sure that minimum loss of life is there, maximum number of people are saved. That was the overall motto of the entire
Yes,
accident.
that's absolutely, that's we also so sir, in the last part of our conversation would also want to you to tell those stories that there are your team, starting from the IC, the small the driver, the ambulance driver, the paramedical first. How did we have seen them, so would just like to know that how people may not know their name, maybe may not see their face, but what effort they actually gave for the last that 72 hours, if you could just say that.
See, we have already listed the civilians, the common man who were helping us, drivers and ambulance drivers and police constables, our home guards, ODRA personnel, NDRF personnel, and even staffs of civil administration, doctors, we are nurses. We have listed everybody, and government will we are requesting, we will request government to give them some kind of motivational reward so that they feel highly more motivated. And government has themselves told us to enlist these people, and they will reward them, they will appreciate them suitably, because everybody, every staff, every common man, every staff, police personnel, every ODRA personnel, everybody was selflessly working to save the life. Ambulance drivers, nurses, everybody, nobody was complaining about anything. Everybody was hungry. We were not having food for 72 hours, but nobody was complaining about anything. So it was a selfless service by everybody. So we have under the instruction of state government, and CMO, we have listed all those staffs who have given the selfless service, and in the course of the time they will be duly motivated, they will be duly rewarded, and they duly appreciated, so that they feel happy that at the end of the day they are the real winners who have worked on the ground with us.
And sir, one last question to both of you: that what is the lesson that the administration, everybody got from Mahanaga accident? First, would like sirs responding, and then Chagurika. So first to you, what lesson do we learn from Bahanaga? What lesson do
Just
we learn from Bahanaga?
just Sarika first to explain, then I'm there. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. L- Lesson is that for us banga was a challenge, and because of our established 5T disaster management model we could save as many lives as possible. Lesson, whatever lessons we can draw from is that one is that in these kinds of crowded accident place or any place where things happen, we need some kind of tower enhancement facility so that signals should come, because communication is these days are very
Very
most important,
important point.
very important thing. So we will work upon that we will have some kind of future coordination with the sales service providers, so that immediately some kind of enhancement in the signal facilities could take place, because of so many crowd in that area. This signal tower collapses, and nobody is able to communicate. This is one big lesson from this incident. Second is that lesson is that that is the achievement lesson, that whatever lives we could save is due to our teamwork, due to our having the best technology, due to the timely interference by the government, by the top management, by the top officers, and even ground officers. Everybody was working in whole coordination. Even we have got the best coordination from the central government. The railway minister was himself available. Honorable Prime Minister came.
And all
So
the state governments came together. Tamil
yeah,
Nadu, Bengal, everybody together. It was a united effort of saving people, right?
yeah, it was like it was a complete united effort from top to bottom, from center to state, from different between different states, from the different departments, and all could happen, and we could save the life too. So this kinds of teamwork is the lesson that if it takes place, we will certainly have a great disaster management model in future.
And Chagurika, from you.
Like we have seen that Odisha is quite prone to disaster, and multiple times we have post 99 super cyclone we have been able to manage in a relatively better way. And these days, all anytime the cyclone comes, our motto is zero death. But absolutely nothing can prepare you for a disaster like this.
True.
In policing, particularly, we are relatively used to seeing dead bodies. Like we handle murder cases, we handle we
True.
handle double murder cases. But at an instance where you are seeing hundreds and hundreds of dead bodies piled upon each other in a mangled state, nothing can prepare you for that. But the only thing that worked in such a situation was the existing SOP that we had because of our disaster preparedness of the state. That we knew that how we need to, in such a situation, how we need to react fast. Timeliness is the key. How we need to ensure that technology reaches the spot of the accident. That is the second T, the technology. And how we ensure that it is not an individual effort. If the
Team
all the
effort.
teams do not come together, if there is no harmony, if there is no synchronization between the different teams, like
True.
for example, the first 1 hour when there was the local people and the police at the spot, and most of the other teams were already on their way to reach the spot. Our focus was on rescuing the critically injured patients. But the moment the ODRAF came, the moment the other agencies reached, the moment the fire team was there, the moment they had their own equipments, we retreated from that spot, and our major focus now was to ensure that the green corridor exists, was to ensure that the area from where the evacuation process is happening, from where the heavy JCBs are moving, those are not encroached by the crowd, those are not the people have enough space to work on the victims. and
True.
and finally, to ensure, because it was a very interior area, to ensure that from the roads till the spot of the accident, the ambulances have a way, they have a process to reach, and the entire area is managed. And then again, the next day, the overall focus again shifted a bit towards managing the overall law and order. Now that the local people have done their part, they have helped. Now that all the other machineries, the NDRF, the army, and everybody else have reached, the local people then were made to rest, and everybody else again pitched in. And at that point of time, managing the law and order, ensuring that the luggage and the wallets and the mobile phones of the victims are not lost in the commotion. That was also
Yes.
a very critical thing that we did.
Important.
In fact, in the entire commotion, we had made one bus. We had designated it as a lost and found section, and had given one inspector
I
as a
saw that.
charge. And we have recovered more than 500 mobile phones, more than 100 wallets, and many luggages, which we have finally handed over to the RPF. So that is the overall. The idea was how to synchronize all the parts of the organization into one unique team energy, so that a symbiotic relationship can exist, and we can come up with the best disaster model under the aegis of 5T.
Absolutely, because it was not a easy job. It was a very difficult job, and in decades, such type of accidents India has not seen. So it was not a disaster for Orissa. It was not a disaster for Balasore. It was India's disaster. And there, I must say, because I myself was in ground zero, that the administration team, the police, the army, the interstate coordination, state central coordination was absolutely superb. And you all are the superheroes. Also, the police officers, also the people who were there on the ground, the administration, the local people. The tragedy was horrific. We have lost so many lives. There were so many emotions together. We really can't bring them back. But a good coordinated team can definitely show that yes, if a disaster comes, then India can fight that in every way. Thanks a lot for joining in CNN News 18, and real salute to all the people who have given their 200% in this disaster. Thanks a lot.
And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.